Charlie Lang works as a cop in Queens, New York, where he's lived his whole life. He's kind, helpful, great with kids, and very practical. His wife, Muriel, isn't a fan of Queens. She's always unhappy, complains a lot, and talks badly about Charlie when he's not around. Meanwhile, Yvonne, a waitress, owes a lot of money on her credit card because her soon-to-be ex-husband used it without her permission. Despite explaining this to the judge, she's declared bankrupt. One day, Muriel tells Charlie they'll win the lottery and move out of their small apartment. Charlie knows the odds are slim but decides to buy a lottery ticket anyway. During lunch with his colleague Beau, they meet Yvonne, who's late for work and stressed. Charlie notices her beauty and tries to cheer her up. There's a moment when Charlie, short on cash to leave a tip at a cafe, promises Yvonne, the waitress, that he'd split any potential lottery winnings with her. He doesn't have enough money for a tip, so he offers her a lottery ticket instead, suggesting that if he wins, he'll share the prize with her. Later that day, Charlie plays with some kids before heading home. Muriel complains about him soaking his feet near her, and elsewhere, Yvonne asks about getting her credit card back but is given little hope. When the winning lottery numbers are announced on TV, a lottery number gets announced, and Muriel starts screaming in excitement. They've won $64 million. Charlie, surprisingly calm, comments on how unbelievable it is. But when Muriel learns that 16 other people also picked the same number, meaning they only get $4 million, she becomes furious. Charlie remarks that she looks like a psycho being so angry. Confused by Muriel's reaction, she nervously asks what's wrong, and Charlie explains he split the ticket with a waitress, prompting Muriel to scream in frustration. Muriel demands Charlie not to share their winnings with the waitress. The next day, Charlie considers telling Yvonne about his $4 million win, seeking Beau's advice. Beau leaves the decision up to Charlie. When Charlie enters the cafe, he witnesses Yvonne being kind to people facing difficulties, while her boss treats her poorly by docking her pay for being friendly with customers instead of focusing solely on work. Surprised to see him return, Yvonne asks what he'd like to eat while searching for her glasses. Charlie helps her find them and then presents her with something unexpected. Charlie surprises Yvonne with a glasses string, and she finds it to be the nicest gift she's ever received. She apologizes for being rude earlier, explaining that she recently went bankrupt. Upon hearing this, Charlie swiftly talks about their agreement, offering her two choices: a double tip or half of his lottery winnings. Yvonne, finding the lottery winnings more thrilling than regular tips, chooses to split the lottery ticket. When Charlie reveals they've won $4 million, Yvonne initially thinks it's a cruel joke, but once she realizes it's true, she becomes moved and overjoyed, hugging him tightly. She celebrates by offering everyone ice cream but later feels she can't accept the gift. Charlie insists, and she gratefully thanks him. Meanwhile, Muriel insults Charlie, calling him a moron. Charlie suggests she could use the story to boost her business and be known as the woman with the golden heart. The lottery winners gather for interviews, and as they learn about Charlie's generosity, they rush to him and Yvonne. Muriel, trying to gain attention, claims she's the woman with a heart of gold. They take a group photo, and the story spreads everywhere. Later, Muriel makes disparaging remarks about Yvonne's appearance while shopping for expensive clothes. Charlie gives some money to a homeless man, but Muriel takes it back and scolds him. Yvonne, stress-free at home, listens to her messages, discovering she's eligible for a $20,000 MasterCard credit line. Unexpectedly, her husband Eddie, whom she hasn't divorced yet, calls, pretending to be unaware of her $2 million win. Yvonne tells her husband, Eddie, to never contact her again and ends the call. Beau asks Charlie about retirement plans, but Charlie insists he's not keen on retiring. While ordering coffee at a store, Charlie notices odd behavior and learns that Muriel, his wife, is absent due to the flu, prompting the cashier to offer the coffee for free. Outside, Charlie realizes their favorite Korean store is being robbed, a situation unusual as the wife is typically present. Charlie directs Beau to call for backup as he maneuvers to enter the store. Inside, the robbers are looting, and Charlie devises a plan. He sneaks in, startling the robbers, who are agitated as they notice Bo still outside. One of the robbers spots Charlie, and in the ensuing struggle, a shot is fired. Charlie disables one robber whose gun malfunctions and pushes them out through a window. Backup arrives, and Charlie, having fainted, is discovered with a gunshot wound in his arm. Later, Charlie gains more attention in the news for his bravery. He delivers a speech, expressing his belief in the significance of police work, and announces a $10,000 donation to the Policeman's Widow's Fund. Muriel is upset by this gesture. One day, Charlie returns home to find their house being torn down. Muriel explains they'll make money remodeling and selling the apartment, proposing they move to Jersey to save on taxes, but Charlie prefers staying. He learns Muriel donated his beloved chair without asking, citing his tendency to give everything away. Walking with Bo, Charlie spots Yvonne owning the cafe but decides to head home, gifting Bo Nick's tickets. Later, at a lottery millionaires club, Muriel is thrilled, but Charlie seems unimpressed. Muriel flirts with a wealthy man while Yvonne struggles with cab fare. She has no cash to pay for her cab to catch the boat. Seeing her distress, Charlie steps in to help by covering her cab fare, even though they ultimately miss the boat. While Muriel continues flirting, Charlie and Yvonne go to a restaurant, opening up about their troubled marriages. They bond over their mutual difficulties, sharing a long dance and enjoying their candid conversation. They decide to meet again the next day. Upon Charlie's return, Muriel doesn't seem to notice his absence, focused on economic strategies with Jack Gross. The next day, Yvonne tries teaching Charlie roller skating, but it ends with an unintended splash into a lake. One day, Charlie and Yvonne rent a stadium and organize a baseball game for all the kids from Charlie's street, creating a fun and lively atmosphere. But later, Yvonne returns home and finds her husband, Eddie, there against her wishes. Meanwhile, at Charlie's place, Muriel accuses him of having an affair with Yvonne. Charlie denies it, leading to a heated argument where Muriel expresses dissatisfaction with Charlie's blue-collar lifestyle and demands a divorce. Yvonne also leaves her home after confronting her husband and threatens to call the cops if he's not gone when she returns. Charlie finds himself at Hotel Plaza and discovers Yvonne is there too. They end up in adjacent rooms and, after sharing their reasons for being at the hotel, they share a kiss. The next day, they wake up happy to be together but are suddenly confronted by reporters. Amidst this, Charlie and Muriel proceed with their divorce. Muriel demands all of the $2 million, leading to a conflict over the money Charlie shared with Yvonne. Muriel's attorneys insist that the winnings are legally hers since the lottery ticket belonged to her, leaving Charlie distressed and seeking refuge at Bo's family's place. Amid the trial, Muriel fabricates a story about buying the winning lottery ticket herself with the help of her deceased father. Her lawyer paints a false picture of Charlie using force and manipulates details to cast a negative light on him. During the trial, Yvonne faces insinuations about her relationship with Charlie, with the lawyer attempting to portray her as a gold digger. Yvonne stands up for herself, explaining her financial struggles and dispelling false accusations. News spreads across New York about the courtroom drama, highlighting the unfair treatment of Yvonne by Muriel's lawyer. However, the jury decides in favor of Muriel, awarding her the entire $4 million. Yvonne flees, leaving Charlie concerned and seeking to find her. Charlie attempts to reach out to Yvonne, but she's not available. He's worried about her and their situation, recognizing the media attention surrounding their story. Wanting to talk, he visits Yvonne's cafe and finds her there. Charlie and Yvonne find themselves in a heart-to-heart conversation. Yvonne is overwhelmed with regret and guilt. She expresses deep remorse to Charlie, believing that her presence and involvement have led to the loss of the $4 million lottery winnings. Yvonne feels responsible for the subsequent turmoil and distress in Charlie's life, carrying a heavy burden of guilt for the fallout from the legal battle. This remorse underscores her genuine concern for Charlie's well-being and the unintended consequences of their connection. In a heartwarming turn, despite their challenging times, Charlie and Yvonne extend kindness to a homeless man, sharing a meal and giving him money. He began taking pictures of Charlie and Yvonne. After sharing a humble yet heartfelt meal, the homeless man departed, making his way to a van owned by the New York Post. The subsequent day, newspapers across the city featured the touching story of the cop and the waitress sharing a simple meal with the homeless man during their own trying times. The article emphasized their humanity, depicting their small yet significant act of kindness. As support pours in from all over the city with donations and letters, people come together, contributing to a substantial fund to assist Charlie and Yvonne, and support from the public. Overwhelmed by the immense support, they receive a significant tip and financial aid, enabling them to regain stability. This incredible show of generosity from New Yorkers allows Charlie to return to the police force, and Yvonne reclaims ownership of her cafe. Meanwhile, after marrying Jack Gross, he took what she had and disappeared. In a heartening conclusion, Charlie and Yvonne find happiness together, getting married and building a fulfilling life, surrounded by the support and love of the city that rallied behind them in their time of need.